Most people visualize perfectly, repeat affirmations daily, and stay positive, yet nothing changes. That's because you're trying to change the outside world while your internal frequency stays exactly the same. Here's what nobody tells you. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. You don't manifest what you desire. You manifest what you embody. And right now, your current identity is creating the reality you keep waking up to. In the quantum field, every version of your life already exists. The abundant you, the confident you, the completely fulfilled you. The moment you become that version energetically, reality reorganizes itself around your new frequency. That's not magic, that's physics. But here's the problem. Most people are still trying to force change from the outside in. Picture this. You're standing in front of a bathroom mirror, frustrated because it's showing you the same reflection every single day. So you decide to do something about it. You start pointing at the mirror, demanding it show you something different. You yell at it, you plead with it, you even try bribing it, but the mirror just keeps reflecting exactly what's standing in front of it. This is exactly what most people do with manifestation. They're trying to change their external reality, their bank account, their relationships, their circumstances, while their internal frequency stays locked in the same old patterns. They're essentially screaming at the mirror of reality, expecting it to show them abundance while they're still vibrating lack. The quantum field operates like that bathroom mirror, but infinitely more precise. It doesn't judge what you're broadcasting. It doesn't care if you're good enough or if you've suffered long enough. It simply reflects back your dominant energetic signature with ruthless accuracy. When you wake up feeling anxious about money, the field mirrors that frequency. When you scroll through social media feeling inadequate, reality organizes itself around that vibration. Here's what blows people's minds. The mirror isn't broken. The manifestation process isn't failing. The system is working perfectly. It's just working backwards from what you thought. You've been taught to change your circumstances first, then feel better. But quantum physics reveals the opposite is true. The mirror of reality can only reflect the frequency you're currently embodying, not the one you hope to embody someday. Most people are broadcasting one signal with their emotions while trying to convince the universe with their thoughts. And the field, being neutral and intelligent, simply mirrors back that internal contradiction. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you change what's standing in front of the mirror, everything shifts. Here's what's going to blow your mind. Right now, at this very moment, there's a version of you that already has everything you want. There's a version of you that's confident, abundant, and completely fulfilled. And here's the crazy part. That version isn't some future possibility you need to reach for. It already exists in the quantum field. Quantum physics has proven something that sounds like science fiction but is absolute fact. Multiple realities exist simultaneously. Scientists have literally demonstrated that particles exist in all possible states until something observes them and collapses them into a single reality. Think about that for a second. Every possible version of your life exists as pure potential right now. You are that observer. Every morning you wake up, you're collapsing a specific version of yourself into reality. When you think I never have enough money, you're not just making a statement, you're performing an act of quantum selection. You're choosing the timeline where that continues to be true. When you scroll through Instagram feeling inadequate, you're measuring that reality and anchoring it into your experience. But here's where it gets wild. Your identity, who you believe you are at your core, is the steering wheel for this entire process. Most people try to change their circumstances while keeping their identity exactly the same. They want the wealthy lifestyle but still see themselves as someone who struggles with money. They want the perfect relationship but still identify as someone who always gets hurt. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. Every possible version of your life exists as pure potential. The successful you, the confident you, the completely abundant you. The moment you start identifying as that version rather than wanting to become that version, something incredible happens. Your subconscious mind, which runs 90–95% of your reality, starts aligning with this new identity. Instead of fighting against your manifestations, it starts supporting them. You don't just attract different circumstances, you become the type of person who naturally lives in those circumstances. And that's when the quantum field has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new frequency. Here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. You must become that version emotionally before you see any evidence. If you want abundance, you can't wait for the money to show up before you feel abundant. You have to feel abundant now, while your bank account is still the same. If you want love, you can't wait for the perfect person to arrive before you feel worthy of love. You have to embody that worthiness today. This isn't about faking it or pretending. It's about reaching into the quantum realm of all possibilities and anchoring the desired outcome by becoming it. When you do this consistently, you literally rewire your nervous system to match that new identity. Your body doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So when you feel gratitude for abundance that hasn't shown up yet, you're installing the neurological hardware of someone who is abundant, and the field responds accordingly. Scientists have discovered something revolutionary about manifestation. It all comes down to something called coherence. Think of coherence as the secret code that makes the quantum field actually listen to what you're broadcasting. Without it, you're essentially shouting into the void. Here's what coherence really means. When your thoughts, emotions, and body are all speaking the same language, something extraordinary happens. Your electromagnetic signature becomes so clear and powerful that the quantum field has no choice but to respond. It's like the difference between a scattered radio signal that cuts in and out and a high-definition broadcast that comes through crystal clear. Most people are sending out what scientists call mixed signals. They're visualizing abundance while feeling anxious about money. They're affirming love while secretly believing they're not worthy of it. Their thoughts are saying one thing, their emotions are saying another, and their body is locked in survival mode from years of old programming. The quantum field receives this jumbled mess and reflects back exactly that, confusion. But when you achieve coherence, something miraculous happens. Your heart and brain start synchronizing their rhythms. Your nervous system shifts from chaos to order. Your electromagnetic field becomes so organized and powerful that it can actually be measured by scientific instruments. You become what researchers call a coherent transmitter. Here's where the science gets incredible. When particles achieve quantum coherence, they start behaving in unison, synchronized like a perfectly orchestrated symphony. They become exponentially more powerful than when they're acting independently. The same thing happens to you when your thoughts, emotions, and body align. You don't just send a signal to the quantum field. You become a signal so strong it can literally reorganize matter. Dr. Joe Dispenza has measured this phenomenon in thousands of people. When someone achieves true heart-brain coherence, their energy field expands beyond their physical body. They become magnetic. Opportunities start showing up. Synchronicities multiply. People are drawn to them without knowing why. The field is responding to their coherent frequency. But here's the part that changes everything. Coherence isn't something you think your way into. It's something you feel your way into. When you feel genuine gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet. When you experience authentic joy for your future self-success. When peace becomes your natural state instead of anxiety. That's when coherence activates. Your heart opens, your brain focuses, and your entire electromagnetic signature shifts. The quantum field doesn't respond to words or visualizations. It responds to the coherent electromagnetic patterns you're emitting. And when those patterns are clear, consistent, and powerful, reality has no choice but to match them. This is why some people manifest effortlessly while others struggle for years. It's not about technique, it's about coherence. And once you crack this code, everything changes. This is where quantum physics gets absolutely mind-bending. Scientists have discovered something so shocking that even Einstein called it spooky. The mere act of observing something changes it at the quantum level. The observer effect proves that reality isn't some fixed movie playing out regardless of whether you're watching. Reality is actually waiting for you to decide what it becomes. Here's the famous experiment that broke everyone's brain. When scientists shoot electrons through two slits, something impossible happens. If nobody's watching, the electron acts like a wave and somehow goes through both slits at the same time, creating an interference pattern. But the moment someone tries to observe which slit it goes through, the electron decides to act like a particle and only goes through one slit. The interference pattern completely disappears. Think about what this means for your life. Every moment you're awake, you're collapsing quantum possibilities into concrete reality just by observing. When you wake up and immediately think, "I'm broke," you're not just making an observation, you're literally collapsing the quantum wave of infinite financial possibilities into the single reality where you're struggling. Your attention is that powerful, but here's where it gets wild. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between what you observe in your external world and what you observe in your imagination. When you vividly visualize yourself living abundantly, when you feel those emotions of gratitude and joy for your future success, you're performing the same quantum measurement that collapses possibilities into form. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one you're intensely imagining. Most people are unconsciously observing the same limited reality over and over again. They wake up, look around and think, yep, still the same life. That act of observation locks that reality in place. They're measuring scarcity, so scarcity becomes their experience. They're observing loneliness, so loneliness crystallizes around them. The universe isn't punishing them, it's simply responding to what they're consistently measuring. But when you understand the observer effect, you realize you have incredible power. Every time you choose to observe abundance instead of lack, love instead of fear, possibility instead of limitation, you're collapsing different quantum potentials into your reality. You're literally selecting which version of your life becomes real. The key is becoming conscious of what you're observing moment by moment. Are you measuring problems or possibilities? Are you focusing on what's missing or what's emerging? Because whatever you consistently observe with emotional intensity becomes your lived reality. The quantum field has no choice but to match your dominant observation. And once you start observing like the version of yourself who already has everything you want, that's when reality starts shifting to match your new measurement. Here's the Einstein quote that changes everything. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get into that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. But what does frequency matching actually mean, and why do most people get it completely wrong? Think of yourself as a radio transmitter broadcasting 24/7. Your thoughts create the electrical signal, and your emotions create the magnetic pull. When these two are aligned, you send out what scientists call a coherent quantum signal, a clear, powerful transmission that the field can't ignore. But when you're thinking abundance while feeling broke, or visualizing love while believing you're unworthy, you're broadcasting mixed signals. The quantum field receives this scrambled transmission and mirrors back exactly what you're sending: confusion. It's not that manifestation isn't working, it's that you're manifesting a mixed bag because your frequency is all over the place. You're like someone trying to tune into a jazz station while your dial is stuck between heavy metal and static. Here's what most people don't realize. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Every thought carries a specific frequency. Every emotion broadcasts a particular vibration. When you consistently embody the frequency of your desired outcome, you literally tune into the reality where that outcome already exists. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. Scientists have discovered that when two frequencies match precisely, something called resonance occurs. They amplify each other until they're indistinguishable. When your personal frequency matches the frequency of your desired reality, they lock into resonance, and that reality gets pulled into your experience. The secret is something called quantum gratitude. Feeling genuine appreciation for your desired outcome before it shows up. When you can honestly feel grateful for the abundance that hasn't arrived yet. When you experience authentic joy for the love that's still coming, you're anchoring future emotions into the present moment. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between imagined and real experiences, so it starts producing the chemistry of someone who already has what they want. This is why visualization alone doesn't work. You can picture yourself wealthy all day long, but if you're not feeling the emotions of wealth, you're not broadcasting the right frequency. The quantum field responds to felt experience, not mental images. You have to become an energetic match to what you desire before it can manifest. Most people are trying to manifest from the frequency of lack. They want abundance because they don't have it. They seek love because they feel lonely. But the field can only give you more of what you're vibrating. When you shift into the frequency of already having it, when gratitude and joy become your natural state regardless of circumstances, that's when reality reorganizes itself to match your new broadcast. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. This is where everything shifts from theory to transformation. Most people think manifestation is about getting something they don't have. But quantum physics reveals a shocking truth. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already has it. The process isn't about chasing or forcing. It's about allowing what already exists in potential to collapse into your reality. Here's what Dr. Joe Dispenza discovered through thousands of brain scans. When someone truly embodies their future self, their neural networks literally rewire in real time. They don't just think differently, they become different. Their body chemistry changes, their electromagnetic field shifts, and they start broadcasting the signal of someone who already lives the life they once dreamed of. The becoming process has 3 distinct phases, and most people get stuck in the first one. Phase 1 is where you're still trying to manifest from your current identity. You want abundance, but you're still thinking like someone who struggles with money. You desire love, but you're still carrying the wounds of someone who believes they're unworthy. The quantum field mirrors back this mixed signal perfectly. Phase 2 is the breakthrough moment, when you stop focusing on getting and start focusing on being. Instead of asking, how can I get what I want? You start asking, who do I need to become? This is where quantum manifestation begins to activate, because you're aligning with the frequency of your desired outcome rather than the frequency of wanting it. But phase 3 is where the magic happens. This is what scientists call quantum coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and body are all speaking the same language. You're not just visualizing abundance while feeling broke. You're not affirming love while believing you're unworthy. Your entire system is aligned with the reality you're calling in. In this phase, something extraordinary occurs. You start experiencing what researchers call spontaneous manifestation. Opportunities appear without you chasing them. Synchronicities multiply. People are drawn to you without knowing why. The quantum field is responding to your coherent signal by reorganizing reality around your new frequency. The secret is learning to feel the emotions of your future before it arrives. When you can genuinely feel gratitude for abundance that hasn't shown up yet, when you experience authentic joy for love that's still coming, you're anchoring future emotions into the present moment. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between imagined and real experiences, so it starts producing the chemistry of someone who already has what they want. Most people resist this process because it requires letting go of who they've always been. But here's the quantum truth. The version of you who has everything you want already exists in the field of infinite possibilities. You're not creating something new, you're becoming something that already is. And the moment you fully embody that version, reality has no choice but to match your new identity. This is the moment when everything becomes real, when the quantum field finally responds to your coherent signal. Scientists have discovered that the field operates like an incredibly sophisticated intelligence, constantly monitoring the electromagnetic signatures we're broadcasting. And when your internal frequency becomes consistent and clear, something extraordinary happens. Reality begins to reorganize itself around your new vibration. Here's what researchers like Dr. Joe Dispenza have measured in thousands of test subjects. The moment someone achieves true coherence between their thoughts, emotions, and body, their electromagnetic field expands exponentially. We're not talking about subtle changes. We're talking about measurable, dramatic shifts in their energetic signature that can be detected by scientific instruments. The field doesn't respond gradually. It responds instantaneously. The quantum realm operates outside of linear time, which means the moment you become a vibrational match to your desired reality, that reality begins collapsing into your experience. But here's what blows people's minds. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. When your coherence reaches a critical threshold, people start describing what can only be called reality shifts. Opportunities appear from nowhere. Synchronicities multiply beyond statistical probability. The right people show up at exactly the right time with exactly what you need. It's not luck, it's the field responding to your clear, consistent signal. The field operates through what physicists call quantum entanglement, the mysterious connection between particles that remain linked regardless of distance. When you achieve coherence, you become entangled with the version of reality that matches your frequency. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, but it's how the field delivers your manifestations. But here's the part that changes everything. The field doesn't just give you what you've programmed, it gives you things better than you could have imagined. When you're vibrating at the frequency of abundance, love, or joy, the intelligence of the field starts presenting opportunities and synchronicities that your limited mind never would have thought to ask for. It's like the universe becomes your co-conspirator. Most people miss the field's response because they're looking for it in the wrong places. They want their manifestation to show up exactly as they pictured it, exactly when they expected it. But the field operates through what scientists call non-local correlation, effects that happen instantly across space and time. Your abundance might show up as an unexpected business opportunity. Your perfect relationship might begin with a chance encounter that seems like pure coincidence. The key is learning to recognize the field's language. It speaks through inspiration, synchronicity, and what researchers call quantum intuition. When you're truly aligned, you start getting hunches that lead to breakthrough moments. You feel drawn to certain places or people without knowing why. This isn't mystical. It's the field guiding you toward the collapsed reality that matches your frequency. And once you learn to follow these quantum breadcrumbs, manifestation becomes less about waiting and more about flowing. So here we are. You now understand the quantum secret that changes everything. You've discovered that you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You've learned that the mirror of reality can only reflect back your internal frequency, not your wishful thinking. And most importantly, you realize that every version of your desired life already exists in the quantum field, waiting for you to become a vibrational match. This isn't just theory anymore. This is your roadmap to creating the life you've always known was possible. The moment you stop trying to change the outside world and start shifting your internal frequency, everything changes. When you embody the emotions of your future self before the evidence shows up, reality has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new identity. But here's the thing, information without implementation is just entertainment. You can watch every manifestation video on YouTube, but until you start practicing quantum coherence, until you begin feeling grateful for your desires before they arrive, until you become the version of yourself who already has what you want, nothing will shift. The quantum field is listening to you right now. It's responding to the frequency you're broadcasting as you watch this video. So I want you to take a moment and feel into the version of yourself who already lives your dream life. What does that version feel like right now? How do they carry themselves? What energy do they radiate? If this video has sparked something inside you, if you can feel the truth of these quantum principles resonating in your cells, then you're already beginning the transformation. The field responds to felt experience, not intellectual understanding. Here's what I want you to do right now. Hit that like button if you're ready to stop chasing and start embodying. Subscribe because we're going deeper into quantum manifestation techniques that will blow your mind. And most importantly, drop a comment below sharing one thing you're going to start embodying today instead of wanting. Write "I am" followed by the identity shift you're making right now. The quantum field is always listening. The question is, what are you broadcasting? Your new reality is waiting for you to remember who you truly are. Don't just watch this video and move on. Become it, live it, be it. Because that's when everything changes.